Hello. So if you're tuned in today, you are probably someone who's wondering what the world of work might look like once we have COVID under control. Well, organizations, as you know, across the world have had to partake in what has been dubbed the largest work from home experiment in 2020 and actually well into 2021. So organizations who might have historically been a bit hesitant about flexibility or some kind of hybrid workforce have had no choice. Some have made it work. Others have even said that they're going to make do without office space altogether, while many more are actually thinking about a hybrid workforce for the future. In fact, a UK study by BCG said that 67% of people who worked from home during the pandemic would rather continue to have a flexibility about working from home and working from the office. So now what? What do we do? First, let's think about what a hybrid workforce actually means. Well, simply said, it's a deliberate method of working which allows employees to freely work from a location such as home or any other personal location, and to flow between that and a more traditional office space environment. The premise is actually quite nice. The premise is that if you allow employees that flexibility of deciding where to work, you're going to end up with a more productive and engaged workforce. So it all sounds great, right? Well, I think so. But I'm also here to talk to you about an inadvertent effect that might take place, and that is the cultural divide. It's the us versus them attitude. I'll walk you through 4 simple ways that you can mitigate that in the workplace. First, it's simple. It's about getting your leaders to embrace empathy and trust. We have all experienced the pandemic a little bit differently. Some of us have realized that working from home we're much more efficient and we're much more productive, while others have actually realized that being away from coworkers and from the office environment meant that they have lost some type of energy and that they're not actually more efficient and they're a bit slower in their day. So that means that our attitude once we go back is going to be quite different. And because of that, we must really learn to respect one another's choices about where we work. Managers have to ensure that they no longer judge someone's motivation or engagement by their physical work location. Second, watch out for distance and recency biases. Those are cognitive biases that everyone has, which means that we will tend to favor events or people that are closest to us, so in time or space. And you can imagine that with remote working, this can easily happen. The employees that you see on a regular basis, you might start to build an affinity to. When opportunities come up, whether it's for promotion or new roles or great projects, or even just exposure to individuals within the organization, you might automatically think about the people who you most recently spoke to and who you normally kind of interact with. And as a manager, that's a very dangerous thing. For managers, just like any other biases, the fact that you know about it is the first step. As managers, we must ensure that we pay attention to every single employee in the same way. We must ensure that when things come up, whether it's opportunities, promotions, great projects, exposure, that we're actually considering every single employee that we have. You might want to do up a list, just have it next to you, and look at it and say, have I really considered every single one of those employees in a fair and equitable way? The other thing is simply making sure that you're interacting with people during one-on-ones and that you're scheduling those with everyone in a similar fashion. Also, managers should be mindful of how decisions are made. You might have employees that make a decision while they're in an impromptu coffee break and discuss something really important. What you don't want to do is ban these types of decisions or informal gatherings, which are really great. But what you want to do is coach your employees to ensure that once they've met and once that they've discussed something, that they think back and wonder whether every single stakeholder that should have been involved was involved. And if not, then to reach out later, speak to that stakeholder before anything is set in stone. And for employees, well, here, the good news is that unlike other biases against you, you can probably do something about this one. What you need to do is be memorable. And what I mean by this is think about the last time that you interacted with a manager, a colleague, or even a customer. If it's a long time, then do something about it. Also, always ask questions, raise your hand, interact in social activities, whether online or in person. Just try to be in front of people and make every effort to, again, be memorable out there. The third thing is to create channels for recognition. This becomes even more important in a hybrid workforce. Again, because of the biases that we've just talked about, people may not realize how impactful those that they haven't really interacted with recently are to them or other employees and the organization. So create channels, maybe create a campaign where you encourage your employees to recognize somebody they actually haven't physically seen for a long time, but who they know have made a huge impact on them or the organization. Eventually, campaigns like this will not be necessarily because people will start to recognize each other in an organic fashion. But don't be scared to actually start it off. Now, digital recognition tools are out there and they're wonderful. And so for hybrid workforces, they become very important. But I will say, don't ever forget the more traditional ways of thanking people. You'll be surprised how a simple, old-fashioned card to say thank you, or even a mention in a meeting in front of colleagues to talk about another person's great contribution can wow someone and make them feel special. And lastly, think about technology and your space. So for technology, it's just about making sure it's available. The tools are going to be a lot more important now, and we all have realized that during the pandemic. So when we go back into the office, ensure that people are continuing to use the tools. So what you might do is ask people, no matter who's attending meetings, no matter where they are, just for every single meeting out there, make sure that there's a video conference link and making it actually standard, whether you think someone's going to be calling from home or not. Making that accessible and easy and the norm will make people feel much more included, and you won't forget anyone. The other thing is about space itself. So think about it. Why would anyone right now go take a train journey or a car ride, commute in the morning, just to sit in front of their desk on a computer? That's not going to be an incentive to anyone anymore. So think about, is your space actually conducive to a more collaborative workspace? Is your space good for celebrations, for learning, for gatherings? Those are all things that you're going to want to think about and recreate that environment so that people are drawn into the office once in a while. And that will actually make a huge difference for building relationships in the future. So I don't know about you, but I'm actually quite excited to be at the cusp of this new world of work. And like many of you out there, Perkbox is going to be trialing this for the first time. We're a little bit nervous about how it's going to work, and I'm sure we'll make lots of mistakes. But the important thing is that we continue to monitor how this hybrid workforce is going to affect our people, their well-being, our business decisions, and our productivity. And yes, we'll probably tweak things along the way, but the important thing is that we've tried and that we will continue to try and break a little bit of the barriers out there. So for now, I hope you found this useful, and please do go and try to make this work.